How much do you like about the commentary? Are you gonna talk a lot?
No,
Or
I'd rather if you did most of it.
okay,
I'm just gonna, if I want to say something, I'll just plug it in. But
okay,
most of the movement and stuff, I'd be really glad if you could
yeah, of course.
do that. Yeah.
Well, if there's news threads or something, I'm not really
Yeah.
familiar with
If
them.
there's something you don't know about, just say it and I'll
Okay,
explain it instead of you. No
okay,
worries.
and tell me when to shut up. Like for example, when you're doing cannoli or whatever.
Yeah.
And
So
tell me when to read donations.
Just
sure.
ask, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm ready.
Oh, I guess.
I suppose we're ready. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you a countdown. 3, 2, 1, and go.
So,
Hello, I'm Catalyst. With me is Steve Buck. Hi, Steve Buck. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you feeling today?
All right. I'm a little nervous. I don't want to fail this too much. So
You're a little
hopefully that
nervous.
doesn't happen. Yeah.
Does that come by the fact that your name is Catalyst and you're definitely named after the wrong game?
Oh, I should probably sue him. I would get some good money off of it. But yeah, take it away, man.
So here we're doing a Mirror's Edge run. Mirror's Edge is a parkour game. I assume a lot of people don't really, aren't really familiar with the game. It's widely positively accepted, but its sales numbers weren't all that great back then.
Already fell one trick. That's all right.
That's all right.
No
Yeah.
big deal. Checkpoint's right here.
You will see him a lot of running, but most, a lot like you just saw, he'll be doing sort of double jumps. Those double jumps work because the developers, when they developed the game, decided to put a platform below Faith, that's the name of the protagonist, to prevent a ground clipping. Apparently they had a problem with the character clipping underground during certain actions, such as rolling and kicking, so they placed a platform below her. What he can do with it is Faith will land on this platform for about a frame, and you can use it to jump off of it, and this will look a lot like he's double jumping at certain times. Also, you'll see him jump and coil a lot, trying to get over fences in a certain way, mostly with doing speed vaults with one hand. This will allow him to maintain the speed. This is right now the prologue of the game, where basically everything is introduced, like the police is chasing you, and what it basically introduces you into the game. Right here is a small waiting section. The helicopter you can see there is arriving. That's why he's kind of like strafing left, right. So he waits a little because you have to wait a certain amount of time until you can enter the next chapter.
One thing to note, all these like weird little side steps that I'm doing like this. Oh, that was weird. My mouse wheel kind of screwed me out there. Those are to get me to the full speed pretty much immediately, because normally I would have to accelerate, and doing this gets me to the full speed.
Yeah, so side hopping in the game accelerates you to the maximum speed right away, pretty much. And by side hopping and then turning 90 degrees into the way you want to walk, basically gives you the speed, like the maximum amount of speed right away. You can see whenever he's doing that, when Faith is waving her hand, like she's like shoving some air to the side or something. Elevators, the game uses a lot of elevators to load certain areas. There isn't really a whole lot you can do. In usual runs, the timer is stopped there because of hardware restrictions. This part here is a little RNG based.
Yeah, there's like a 15% chance to die here, and we got it, of course. Marathon luck.
It's a marathon. Usually you're meant to run around. I think running around is about 4 seconds slower.
Yeah, something like that.
It's definitely worth it in like such a fast-paced game. Upcoming will be a trick called Chapter 1 Skip. Okay.
Did I miss it? I missed it.
Ah.
Right. That's okay.
So you trigger the load for the next area, which unloads the previous area, but you jump back, which you're not meant to do, as you can see, because there is an out-of-bounds area. And you can use that to get onto a later area in the game, because usually you're meant to go into a vent, and vents are pretty darn slow, actually. So you're trying to do a kick glitch here, and then a wall boost, which is basically like jumping a lot on a wall, which gets you into wall run and then jump off, and wall run, jump off, which gives you some speed. And this gives you enough distance to reach this roof here, allowing you to skip the entire vent part and basically the loading part the game is supposed to take. There's going to be a lot of skips here, actually. And whenever you see him like jumping on walls, like here, and gaining speed, it's basically he's scrolling the mouse wheel. What I mean with that is pretty much every runner, I think every runner actually has their jump button set to the mouse wheel. They do this so they can do this so-called wall boost that I explained before. This gives quite some speed, actually. Here's another use of the kick glitch.
Oh, come on. Alright, that was a big mistake. Now I'm gonna get put a lot to the back, pretty much. It's alright, though.
Yeah, it happens. The game is pretty dark. Is actually pretty unforgiving. Okay.
Okay, this time I'm just gonna go the safe way. I don't want to die again.
So this is, yeah, one of the more intended ways. On the upcoming part, there is a couple of guards. You're meant to dodge to the right to get over the fences. But, well, there's always ways to get around intended ways, right?
Please don't kill me!
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by the game is unforgiving.
Yeah, but that was like my mistake pretty much, because I screwed up some of the movement in the hallway, so I was really slow.
Yeah, the colliders there are kind of dumb. When I used to run the game, I got stuck there a lot as well. But there you go.
Better. Okay, I'm gonna try to flip here. There we go.
Nice. This allows you to, if he can do an elevator clip, this allows him to leave the elevator basically a little earlier than the game intends you to, save some time. What can happen in elevators, or at least happens to me a lot, especially at the previous one, is that if you scroll your mouse wheel on the action button, this allows you to skip the animation to hit buttons, by the way. If you do that, you can scroll the mouse wheel too quickly and you'll get a glitch called elevator glitch. This will basically disallow you to do any sorts of action anymore, and you have to restart the save or reload the save. Something you've seen there is a side effect of what I've explained before. You saw him drop down quite a lot of distance, but you saw him do a kick. And as I explained before, whenever you do a wall run into a kick, you spawn a platform below you on which you'll land for a frame. Now, he did the wall run in a way so he dropped some distance. Then he did the kick, which spawned the platform. He landed on the platform, and that allowed him to enter the area that was below him. He will be using that a lot, actually, or well, yeah, quite a couple of times, because otherwise, usually you're meant to die there. This is another cool trick, like where you can use the kick glitch.
One thing to point out is that b-hopping is faster than just running, so I'm gonna be trying to get in as many b-hops as possible.
Yeah.
And coming up is gonna be cannoli, which is like one of the hardest skips in the game. I'm gonna attempt it once, see how it goes.
It's like 3 kick glitch chains, isn't it?
4 kick glitch chain, actually.
Lovely. So if you never want to run the game but mess it up for anyone who ever wants to run it, tell him to do that trick. He won't pick it up. The game's actually kind of hard to learn for the fact that it's only like 40 minutes long. I think it took me like 18 hours to kind of get it down.
Yeah, same.
And for a 40-minute run, that's an insane amount of time. So as you can see, he's somewhat out of bounds here. I don't know if you can see it. Oh,
and I got it.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Kind of deserved after all the bad luck there. Yeah. So what he did there, usually you're meant to run into some sort of door at the end of the canals, and then there is a pipe section, and basically you're at the very bottom of the canals right now, which you're meant to run down. But by going out of bounds and doing this kick glitch chain, he was able to reach the checkpoint you're hitting when you're at the very bottom. Because whenever the game loads or a chapter loads, all the checkpoints are loaded. The areas of objects are just not loaded. So technically you can reach any checkpoint you want. You might just not be able to see it. That was a little unfortunate.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate death. Because this area, there's like a mod that we use that makes it a little less laggy. It's not on this computer, so it's extremely laggy for me. Not sure if you can see it on the stream, but it's kind of hard. So I'll just do this safely and
Yeah,
get
so
some speed.
I'm not really sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I heard, the game has a little bug here, I would call it a bug, that it doesn't unload the previous area,
Yeah.
resulting in a lot of lag in this
You're
area.
right about that.
So it's pretty messed up there, especially in the area where this one's meant to load, it lags extremely because the previous one is still loaded. That was alright.
Yeah, I'm supposed to land here. I messed up my angle a little bit. Like, angling kick glitches is, I would say, the hardest thing about the game. And it takes a long while for a runner to learn how to angle the kick glitches properly.
Yeah, because the longer you wall run, the wider your angle gets. The longer you wall run, the wider your angle gets. So if you want, for example, a straight kick glitch, like really just you wall run, kick glitch, and then go wall run on the same wall again, you pretty much have to kick glitch, I think, on the first 3 frames of the wall run. And it also depends on the angle you start to wall run off. So it's really precise. Like, some of the kick glitches are really darn precise. Now, this part here has a lot of platforms and a lot of pipes with a small... I don't know if you can call it puzzle because you're just really turning a vent. But as you can see, unlike in Catalyst, haha, climbing up pipes is really slow. So you really don't want to avoid pipes and stuff as much as you can. So what he's going to do here is he's going to jump onto this railing, get into a wall run, and use this elevator there to, or this elevator railing, what would you call it? I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much elevator railing.
To get up the platforms, which is still so much faster than climbing up these crappy pipes. And here you can see that he's sliding, and because he has his action button set to the mouse wheel up, he can skip the pressing animation, which is a little faster, especially in elevators.
Do we have time for a little donation?
Yes, now's the perfect time, actually.
All right. We got a $2 donation from Sarfax saying, have a good marathon, guys. Next week is the French marathon hoop run. Another week, another marathon. Shout out to everyone who likes speedrunning and good cause. Much love. Thank you very much for your donation.
Well, I just
Thanks a lot.
choked pretty damn hard. I don't know why I died there, but unfortunately I'm supposed to do all this again now, so...
I'm a little surprised that there was no check. Isn't there a checkpoint up
Yeah,
top?
there's not a checkpoint in this route, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But what I did was I scrolled my mouse wheel a little too much with the jump, and what happened there was I bunny hopped as soon as I got onto the crane, and bunny hopped off of it, which is great.
It happens. I would say Mirror's Edge is one of the hardest, like one of the games with the highest skill ceiling. The Super Mario 64 community is going to hate me for that. I got into a lot of discussions because of that. But I would say Mirror's Edge on a high level, it's probably the game with the highest skill ceiling there is. Also, I think this this platform here he just jumped on, isn't it RNG?
It's RNG, the position of it, well, how it pretty much spawns. So both times it was pretty far away, so I got kind of thrown off, I would say. So that's why I kind of panicked and scrolled so much, because I was hoping to pretty much get a climb up if I could. Also, there's like an elevator clip that you can do here, but you need to get off the off the top of the elevator at some point. But first of all, the game is in German, and second of all, it's dependent on the speed of the loading. So that's why you use the audio as a cue, but since it's in German, I cannot really do it.
Why can't you do it if it's in German?
Because I'm listening to Merc's voice,
Okay.
and when he says a certain word in English, I just go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is the Jackknife part. You're meant to chase Jackknife, who is a former runner. Well, as you can see, he's still kind of agile. But because this is a speedrun, we might be a little faster than him at some points, and can see that he's cheating a little, like defying gravity, or just clipping upwards. You're not even meant to like be faster than him at all. And here he used a kick glitch to skip the checkpoint for him. So usually he's waiting for you at certain points. This will, if you're too slow, like after skipping this part. Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you can quit out here, and not really sure if it's faster for real time, but the timing we used is without loads, so it's definitely faster.
So did you freeze scroll here?
No.
Oh. Sometimes on some elevators or some parts you can use the free scrolling. Like if you, some mice, have a feature like a button which unlocks the mouse wheel, and once you scroll it, it scrolls for hundreds and thousands inputs over a longer amount of time.
Literally cheating.
You can use that to trigger some buttons like multiple times, which will force the game to load certain areas faster, or like open doors faster. I think you could have done it here for the elevator to go up faster.
It works there, yeah, but I don't have a free scroll mouse, so I mean there's one here at the venue, but I'm not used to it.
Ah, okay. And upcoming is a pretty fun cutscene skip. Like one of the few out of bounds areas. I don't know if there's actually quite a couple now.
Yeah, there's even a new skip that skips here from this point all the way to 3C, which is like pretty much the office skip, but it's pretty hard, so I'm not going to do it in a marathon. So this is an out-of-bounds thing that I'm attempting here. Not very successfully so far.
Once again, one of those tricks when you learn the game, you need hours to even get it once.
Pretty much, yes.
So what he's trying to do here, there you go. He grabs the lamp, which puts him out of bounds, and then jumps into the checkpoint, which puts him into 3B.
It took me a while because I'm not doing that anymore. I just do the harder strat there because it's not too hard, but it spawns you pretty far back, so you don't want to die there.
Yeah. So this is more marathon save here.
Exactly.
I'm not sure if the gun is faster. I mean, you can shoot the doors.
It saves a little bit because you shoot the door.
And this is another running section mostly. The doors here open, I think, after certain checkpoints, so the game checks your position.
Yes.
It's not after time. Like, they knock on the doors and everything, but it's really just kind of check or trigger based. That's easier to pronounce.
Oops, got stuck. Like, the collision in this game is kind of crazy. You can get stuck on a lot of little things that are around. It's a nice freeze.
Yeah, no free scroll.
Yeah, with a free scroll, this elevator opens up immediately.
So usually you're meant to climb down that pipe, but you can just crouch toward, like, into that broken elevator, which will drop you low enough so you'll grab the pipe at a position where you won't die when you fall down, which is pretty convenient. Now, what he tried to do there was to do a kick glitch, like he did a couple of times before, but with his position a little off the wall, which will kind of invert the jump, or the jump direction, if I'm correct.
Yes, it's called inverted kick glitch.
And this would have put him onto the boxes. I'm not really sure, like sort of vent things.
Yeah.
And he could have done a kick glitch chain from there, which looks really darn impressive if you do it. Also, you saw that rope and the helicopter there with no enemies at all. This is kind of odd. Well, it's not really odd. It's really easy to explain. But once you see it, you're like, okay, the enemies just spawned a helicopter with literally no units there. That was smart. He ran into the trigger to spawn the helicopter, but he avoided the trigger for the units to spawn, which is kind of, I don't know. I don't know why they did that.
So, well, I failed it again, but basically, if you see when I quit back to the main menu and go into the game, there's like that white screen. If you start holding W, in that white screen you get like a really weird speed boost at the start. So that's another reason why quitting out like this is actually worth it. But I'm not used to such quick loads on my PC, so...
You have your game on an HDD?
Yes.
Ah, okay. So this was a little out of bounds section, by the way. It might not have looked like it because the collisions and everything somewhat still work. Oh,
come on.
That's unfortunate.
That's really, really bad because it puts me all the way to here.
Yeah, because you didn't hit... There is no checkpoint in between. But I guess that gives me the opportunity to explain this a little more in depth. So he's doing a wall climb here and turns this into a wall run by jumping right before the wall climb ends and then steering the jump towards the wall, which gets him into a wall run. And then he can use that height to get onto one of those fan things. And this gives him enough height to jump over the barbed wire, which usually have extended invisible walls, but they're just really barely extended. He could even land on them. And there is an out-of-bounds section, which lets him skip a huge chunk. There is a slightly faster strat, if I'm correct, that you could do, but it's far from marathon safe.
It's not slightly faster, it saves like 30 seconds, but it's the hardest key glitch in the game by far. Like, that is any percent doable. So yeah, here what I need to do while I'm jumping, I need to hold backwards and then forwards, so I do this. I don't know, it was quite unfortunate that I flew the first time.
So usually you try to bunny hop whenever you can. Okay, he bunny hops anyways.
Yeah, like on this thing, you're not generating speed for some reason.
The thing about that crane is there is those little notches, and if you hit one of them, you lose all your speed. That's kind of not what you want, because your jump might not make it onto the platform if that happens. That's kind of, yeah. Next chapter is chapter 4, and chapter 4 is kind of interesting, because personally, when I played the game for the first time, it was really tedious. I didn't like all those cutscene, and it even has a quick time event. But, well, we're not going to see a whole lot of that. Because you can get over that barbed wire, and suddenly, no floor. Oh, a checkpoint. Convenient. Now he's loading. He advanced another time. He checked the mission tab to see whether he hit the checkpoint or not. And once he hit it, he needs to advance the game one more time to trigger the loading of the floor and the surroundings, which then lets him die because there is ground under him.
Alright, mission abort. You can outrace this train if you have really good wall boost there. But I messed up the start already, so I'm just not gonna do it to be safe. Because if you die here, you get put back to the checkpoints up there.
So there was that letter. We're not gonna use it. And there is the janitor's office, who apparently likes mice, because this game isn't about mice anyways, or rats. Except for every cutscene, there is someone talking about rats. So the trains are RNG, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you usually hope that you at very least make it to this point.
You can hide here.
Okay.
Also rip guards.
As we can see, this is some 2017 AI. A little climbing section. This is, yeah, there is a lot of climbing involved here, not a whole lot of fighting. In general, about Mirror's Edge, you can fight, but you don't really have to. In fact, I think you even get an achievement if you complete the game without using a weapon.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. I thought there was something like that.
There could be.
And here is a train. Another one. So what the game does here, this is some sort of auto-scrolling part, but what the game does is basically you're riding on a train, and the part before you, always gets generated when the part behind you disappears. So it's really a forced section of a certain length. Then you jump on the other train and it kind of continues. There isn't really a whole lot you could do here. Some people like to lay on the train like that. And then relax a little, because if with the right positioning, you're not going to die. Unless you're really, really, really unlucky. So that's a more relaxing part. A couple of signs. Faith likes hugging pipes on trains. And Faith also seems to like signs. And there is a very conveniently placed sign here, which doesn't damage you.
Yeah, it saves like 6 seconds.
So usually Merc tells you, oh my god, there is another train coming, you gotta get out of there. Well, yeah, he doesn't even get to say that. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I jumped too far to the left, so I didn't get the wall run long enough. Again. This is a kind of tricky kick glitch to do.
Yeah, you gotta run at a certain angle, like you gotta get a wall run from a certain angle on. And I think depending on your height and speed, you gotta evaluate, I'm not even sure if that's the right word, how long you gotta wall run in order to make it onto that invisible wall. Why ever they put an invisible wall there, because...
No idea. You're not even supposed to be there.
And this gives quite a bit of yeah, it skips quite a bit there. What you could have done is there's also a checkpoint down there. You could have just run off the building. That's what I usually do, and like die, and it puts you at the bottom. It's a little slower, but
the kick glitch itself is usually consistent. If you get the right jump, then what you can do is just wall run till a certain line and kick from there and turn your camera to the left. It gave me a lot more trouble than it should, but Chapter 5 overall probably is the hardest chapter in the game, so...
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff, a lot of kick glitches especially. And the upcoming pole kick glitch is also a little annoying sometimes. So, he used a wall run on that pole there, and as you probably can tell by the size of the pole, you don't have a whole lot of time to, like, wall run and then react to the wall run. So it's mostly muscle memory there, but learning that is kind of annoying. But usually here's a small fighting part, you just skip the fighting part, no enemies, pretty calm. It's not meant to be calm. And nice. So he just skipped the second pipe there. I think there is the first pipe. I mean, there is a way to get up here without using a pipe at all.
Yes, it's 0.5 seconds faster, but I think it's a lot harder.
Well, I was about to talk about that the area doesn't load. Okay. Apparently there is a way to load the area now. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you can jump over.
Okay.
You could do that, but you can die that way, and this is pretty much the same speed, so I just quit out like this.
Oh, Beamer is upcoming. So much fun.
Oh, I
rip.
didn't wall run for long enough, because like if you wall run on the wall, you can get your angle really wide like this. That's what I wanted to do. Beamer, I'm gonna try it like few times. If I don't get it, I'm just gonna continue, I think.
Okay. Yeah, Beamer is annoying. One frame tricks in games that run at 60 frames per second are kind of, yeah. You don't have a lot of time. 16 milliseconds is not a lot. Actually, the game runs at 62 FPS.
62,
if I'm right.
yes.
So it's even less.
True.
For some reason, if the game does not run at 62 FPS, I believe it messes up the physics. If I'm not sure about that, but I thought there was something about that. So he used a wall boost there to skip the small climbing section to get over both of the barbed wires right away. And there is another elevator. So more loading, but I feel like there was so much going on, I forgot to talk about half of it.
I think it's alright.
Do we have time for a donation?
Yes, go for it.
Alright, we got a $5 donation from Oats23 saying, "Hey guys, thought I would chip in a bit to the cause. Love the community speedrunners have made, and I hope events like this don't stop coming. To Catalyst, good luck on the run. Don't choke too hard. From your mates, Oats." Smiley face.
Hey Oats, thanks for the luck.
Okay, quick question. Did you get your name Catalyst before the game came out?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you just really liked holding W.
Okay, so Beamer now, hold on.
Roadburn wollte seinen kleinen Freund im Atrium treffen, oder? Nun, das sollte direkt vor dir liegen.
So weird. Okay, I'm just not gonna do it.
So what you tried to do there is a trick called Beamer, like we said a couple of times already. What you tried to do, there is a little bump there due to the design of the level, basically. When you turn on walls, the same frame you hit such a bump, the game will basically teleport you backwards a little for whatever reason, I don't know. And you could have used that to more or less teleport into the middle of the room and then jump off of that and turn towards the railing. This would have made him skip this entire part here.
Yeah, but lands pretty much
Here.
Yeah, kind of like down there
Yeah,
on the
there.
stairs. It would save like 40 to 45 seconds. I'm really sad I didn't get it because my last two PBs had it first try.
Ah.
Hat Roadburn dich reingelegt?
But I didn't want to spend too much time trying.
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, it's a one-frame trick. You usually shouldn't go for it unless you have a good time, I guess, or somewhat good time. Whatever is good now. I remember when sub 30 wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can go for it, but you need to like practice it a bit. A
Yeah.
good thing to do is to record the button presses of a successful attempt and then just listen to them. Walrus says that in his tutorial, and I did it, and it helped. Not for this marathon, apparently.
So, in the vent before, and something that I find pretty amusing is if you listen closely, you can hear soldiers screaming. This is because the previous area unloads, but the soldiers don't unload, so they fall into the void. And it's kind of funny, actually. So, people like me usually wall climb here. It's slower, but it looks better. It's kind of funny. I think people used to wall climb up those stairs for quite some time until people figured out, well, running them up the more or less casual way is actually faster. So why overcomplicate things? That's another fun chapter, by the way. So usually you climb up those orange roofs. Are those roofs? Those are roofs. They're roofs now. Are you going to go for that? Yeah.
Yeah, I have to.
So here is a checkpoint on that pole. That means if he dies, he's going to respawn up here. You're usually meant to get on that. Now, like I said, their barbed wires have invisible walls. He used the railing there and jumped off of the railing to land on the invisible wall of the barbed wire, which lets him roll off of it, which generated a platform below him so he didn't die and was able to go out of bounds. So he could enter that building he was not meant to be in, and trigger the checkpoint there. Oh wait, no, you didn't trigger a checkpoint. You
No,
triggered a
loading
loading
trigger.
point.
Yes. Oh.
I think if you go that way, you can't really do this room the casual way anymore, can you?
I don't think so.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, this death is not that too. It's not too costly because you spawn right here. I was supposed to grab that.
Yeah. And here, the mouse wheel is once again saving the day. Because usually you need to, well, it's not really saving the day, you could just enter the room. But by scrolling the mouse wheel while sliding with the action button, he was able to trigger the button that's on the other side of the wall. And yeah, so you can trigger buttons through walls that way. Not really sure how they didn't think of that. And time for the annoying runners.
Yeah, not really just yet. They're the start of chapter 8 is a lot worse.
Yeah, it's the oh,
Some nice freezing. What the hell?
and before crash on the elevator.
It could happen actually. This game does crash as well.
You can blame me if that happens. It happened to Walrus at ESA.
So
The game can crash here randomly.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone knows why. No.
No crash.
Okay.
Crash is when you get the checkpoint, but it didn't. So that's good.
So now you're being chased by runners that use tasers and guns. Well, they don't use guns. The other ones use guns. Why are tasers more effective? Anyways. Are you going to go for the springboard?
No, I'm gonna go the slow way, just so
Okay.
I get the checkpoint up here.
Usually on those stairs there is a part which makes me wonder whether that was intended or not.
Probably not.
On down the stairs there is a couple of boxes which you can use to springboard up the building. They're kind of conveniently placed, but I just can't imagine they're positioned there on purpose. What he did here is he let go of the what's it called?
Zipline.
Zipline. Yeah, I wanted to say rope. He let go of the zipline a little early to land on the train. Saves a couple of frames. So this chapter is my favorite one because it's called Boat. There is a boat. And that's why it's called Boat.
Nice
no.
boat, mate.
Yeah, it might not
Nice
look like
cars.
it, but we're maybe a little out of bounds. Usually this chapter is called Boat because you're meant to sneak into the boat and then you're gonna get out of the boat. Yeah, you can make that trip a little shorter by triggering that checkpoint here. And that was the boat. Because now you're out of it. It skips the whole. It skips the entire first. No, it actually skips the entire chasing section and the first fight. Which you can easily do by just crouching, crouch punching once, then 2 punches, crouch. Yeah, it's a really consistent pattern against that sort of boss. It's actually the only boss in the game, isn't it?
Yes, actually, yeah. If you don't count Jackknife, but spoilers.
Chapter 8, the most annoying chapter in my opinion.
Now these guards are annoying.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Let's see. Hopefully.
Oh,
Oh.
he was going for it.
Yeah, that's why I jumped a little bit earlier, because I got really scared of him kicking me, so I didn't make the distance. It's okay, though. Sometimes they can screw you over even more.
Yeah. So they can climb just like you, and they have tasers, which makes them pretty darn annoying, but they can't climb vertically, basically. Like you saw him just going to the right of a fence. They can't do that. Another thing he just did was usually you're meant to climb up that building and then jump on that big pad on the bottom. He just did a kick glitch and then a side hop off of that platform that the kick glitch spawns, which lets him skip the entire climbing part, basically. There is more of those people here, but we can skip them by doing another pole kick. Oh, this
That's
is a
alright.
harder one, I
Yeah,
think.
it's kind of tricky, but it shouldn't be too hard.
Ah, there it is.
There we go. Now, one thing to note with the fast climbs like this, you need to let go of W midair and then hold W again.
I actually can't do that. I tried it so many times, I just can't. Oh,
Did I just fall down? Okay, I did.
ah.
That's alright. I mean, it's a little bit costly, but the checkpoint's not that far.
Yeah. So I think what you tried to do there is climb up and then jump into the checkpoint and die.
Yes, I'm gonna try it again, because I shouldn't be dying there.
And it's a little faster than going the normal way.
Do we have time for some donations?
Yes, of course.
Go for it. Also, I died again, so you got a lot of time.
All right. We have a $5 donation from Philotrax saying, "Can I just say something? Catalyst, you are the best Mirror's Edge player in the world. Some people may disagree with me on that, but I got the game the first day it came out. I pre-ordered it. I've been playing almost every day, but just not as good. If I was president, I would but your channel all over America, but I'm not. You're the best Mirror's Edge player ever."
Thank you, Philo. Hello. Fucking memer. Alright, I'm not gonna do the strat, because, yeah,
Oh, real safe strats.
very safe strats.
So what he could have done there as a backup, more or less, was to jump off of that wall and then die at the like right in front of the door, which would have put him into the room. But it's not really it's not really necessary.
Yeah. The first thing that I tried to do was 2 seconds faster than the normal route, but because I died twice, it didn't really save 2 seconds. So now the atrium.
The atrium is some sort of love-hate part of a lot of people that played the game for the first time, because the climbing is fun, but you get lost like so many times, and then you fall down, and when you fall down, you don't know where you are because it puts you somewhere you probably haven't been before. I mean, there are set checkpoints, obviously. You're actually doing it right. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a... Can I save this? Yes.
Oh, nice.
So this is a route which will allow me to get on top of the atrium and skip the vent that we are supposed to get into. This is still alright. This wall run here is kind of tricky. Also,
Yeah, you have to wall run and then turn it into... oh, wait. Yeah, wall run.
yeah, like this. And then scroll the wheel, get up here. More turn jumps, and you get on this. Actually, I'm not gonna do the wall boost there. You can get on there and do some wall boost, but it's really risky. And now what I'm gonna do is jump in the checkpoint that's down here, hopefully.
Yeah, okay, nice. Because usually you're meant to look for a vent, and then it's a whole lot of crouching through a vent, which isn't all that much fun. So what he's doing here is you're purposely dying, right?
Yes.
Which will shorten the cutscene?
I'll show you what it does.
I forgot what it does.
That allows me to... You're supposed to shoot the convoy that's coming up with some MLG no-scopes, but I can just shoot the wall like that and the convoy is dead. Simple.
It makes so little sense. Like, you die and the wall dies as well. Why ever this is happening. Like, seriously, I just can't make out any point of that.
Dice.
No rat strats, I'm disappointed.
Okay, this is pretty hard. What I'm using here is the fact that if you do roll like that, you take fall damage from further lower kind of thing. Like, how am I supposed to say this? Pretty much you can fall down further distance if you roll off the edge. So I do that, otherwise I would have died.
So, like I explained before, with the kick glitch, the game puts a platform below you. It does the same when you're rolling. And when he rolls off of a ledge, the platform still is below you. Because usually you roll and the platform kind of despawns once you leave the edge. But he lands on the edge in a way. I love this sound. I also never tell people to mute their stream during this. So, when you roll, the game puts a platform below you to prevent clipping, but he fell onto the edge, onto an edge, so he could roll, but take the platform that is below him with him. He would land on it and allow him to drop lower distances, because usually you're meant to like fight your way downwards.
So coming up is going to be Bath Skip. I'm going to be doing the super extended version 2.0 kind of. It used to be really hard to do, now it's kind of easy, so let's hope I don't mess it up. So I'm going to use the slow-mo here. Usually I don't use it, but this is just for marathon safety, and I messed it up anyway. So what I'm doing there is an elevator clip. And you get to the top of the elevator, and you can pretty much fall down in the checkpoint. That's pretty far from here, so it saves a lot of time.
I actually don't know this way.
Messed it up again. It's quite new.
Yeah, it shows that I haven't been looking at strats and everything in quite some time.
Okay, let me try this one more time. Come on. This saves so much time over the other way that it's probably even better to just keep on trying. It's kind of weird though, because I was trying this before the run. It was working all right.
Welcome to marathons. It never works.
There we go.
There you go.
So what I need to do, I need to pretty much press the button on the apex of my jump. Also, this is quite finicky as well. I can fail this.
Oh, there's
So
the room.
Let's just hope I do not fail this. It should be alright. Now I'm waiting for the load, and it is. Okay, that's good. So now I get to the snipers. I skipped a very boring elevator section, and then a vent section as well.
Yeah. Usually the elevator is meant to stop while you're using it, and then an emergency exit shows up, and then you're meant to do some horrible platforming section with like elevators falling down from all over the place.
Yeah.
It's kind of slow. It's actually really darn slow, so that skip is really, really convenient. And there he used a building plane, more or less, to skip the entire sniper part. The sniper part was the bane of a lot of people when they played the game, just like the upcoming server part. Oh.
So I just did the clip again without slow motion, which should be harder. So this clip saves like 2 seconds because I can exit the elevator a little bit earlier than I'm supposed to. So it's quite funny that a skip that saves 2 seconds I do first try, and the other one I failed like 3 times.
That's a rather new one as well, isn't it? Like,
Yes.
people didn't do that in forever, even though it's so obvious. Are you gonna go for a server skip?
Once,
Okay.
I think. So I get a checkpoint here, and I can quit out like this.
That looked interesting. So usually you're meant to destroy the servers here. If you're doing slower strats, you're gonna grab the weapon of this guy there, and then shoot the servers and open the door. But you could
we
just
go.
clip through the ceiling.
Yeah, it's very similar to the lamp out of bounds where I grabbed the lights in chapter 3. This is pretty much the same thing. You really want to delay the jump after turning on the wall, otherwise it won't work, and then you just flick the camera. It's not that hard. But if you mess it up, the guy just completely wrecks you with his machine gun.
Yeah. Like, their aim is horrible at the beginning, but it just gets so much better over time.
Timer's gonna be coming up soon.
Yep. Let's hope you don't get the glitch.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. And
Okay.
time. Ugh. Thank you. Well, a lot of stuff went wrong in this run. I think getting 1 minute over the estimate with this run is still pretty good. I'm happy I got cannoli. That was like the main thing I was going for, so I got it. That's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And thank you a lot, Thief, for the call commentary. I couldn't do it without you, so let's give him a round of applause. Come on. Yeah, thanks a lot for that. And yeah, this was Mirror's Edge. If you want to see some better runs, you should check out the leaderboards. One really cool thing about Mirror's Edge is that basically every single run is kind of different.
Yeah.
Every single runner has different habits and strats, so you can pretty much watch the game again and again and again, and it will always feel fresh and new. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. That's it from me and from Thief. And coming up next, TLOZ Link's Awakening. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be hype, and see you guys later.